So season 16 is finally out, and with that, Riot finally decided to do something about ADCs. Well, most ADCs. Actually, only ADCs that they like and that didn't need any adjustments at all. Fun. So, what about Kalista, since Riot hates her more than average League player hates women? I mean, touching grass. There's quite a few items added and changed, so of course Kalista isn't really getting much value from the changes, and it only makes her worse, right? Not exactly. Kalista, in theory, is an AD on-hit champion, relying on extended fights and survivability. And with the new crit items, of course a bunch of other Riot children get tons of fucking value and become at least half a champion this season, and Kalista is just left behind in pro play jail. All of it means one thing: AD on-hit Kalista is absolutely fucking useless and not even worth playing. So my first and best Kalista advice for the new season: don't play the fucking champion, pick something else, and be useful. Okay, that's all. Thanks, bye! Fine, I'll explain a little bit more. So AD on hit is useless, but why exactly? As I said, a lot of crit champions got item adjustments, including a very funny Essence River. What that means is that they have actually human level itemization for their builds. With that, they also get stronger earlier, can match Kalista even more than before, and then just outscale her into oblivion. Not that it was much different before. So one way to counter all of it is to obviously stop crying and go crit. Yes, it's this simple. Good job on thinking about it too. For the crit Kalista, build stays almost the same. You wanna go Yuntul, Infinity Edge, Lord's Dominic. After that you can go either Hurricane or Hex Optics, and to finish off the build, go tanky item plus Bloodthirster. If you're feeling a bit spicy, you can also rush Hubris and then start going crit with Yuntul. And if you feel insecure just like the average Seraphine player, you can also go Yuntul into Shieldbow for more survivability. But what if enemies instead are tanky and you don't want them to counter your entire existence with a single item? Because even if crit is good, it's not always the best option. What the fuck? What was that attack speed? As I said earlier, AD on hit build is piece useless. But there's another. So do you guys remember how Riot changed Kalista scaling and then proceeded to gaslight you into thinking AP Kalista will never work? Yeah, behold the secret Riot never wanted you to know. AP on hit Kalista. The reason AP Kalista is good, especially right now, is because additional item slot lets you get way more value and helps you mix attack speed with AP a lot better. The only problem with it is, just like with Yuntul, you have the most fucking atrocious itemization for the first item ever, because you rush Yuzuu. The advantage of Yuzuu Rush is that once you do get the lead, you're really fucking strong. Okay, but if the build path is so shit, how to get an early lead? All I'm gonna say is a skill issue. If you can't get an early lead with this, that means you're doomed and you suck. Yes, you. Not your support that makes Nautilus Q have balanced hitbox. Not your jungler that invades enemy jungle level 2 with negative prio bot. Thank you, Listen, for sacrificing yourself in the enemy jungle for us. Not even your Rice mid that got outroamed and gapped by Yumi. I mean, they suck too. But stop coping, you fucking Smelfangus, because crying won't get you any LP. Okay, maybe it does, but if you actually wanna improve and you want to stop dying because of your support skill issue, Skillgap is here to help. Skillgap is a free app that has tons of little minigames that help you work on specific issues. You can't dodge? There is a dodge game. You can't throw skill shots under the pressure? There is aim plus dodge. You lack awareness? Well, then maybe survival will help you. So if you really want to improve, there is literally nothing stopping you from trying it. And if you buy a premium plan using my link, you'll also support me. Link in the description. Okay, let's get back to the video. For the AP build itemization, it's pretty easy. You go Ginzo into Nashor's 100% of the time. Then, if you're fed and need armor and survivability, Zhonya is your best option. I would buy it 99% of the games as third item. Then your last three options are Lord's Dominic, Rabadon's, and Jackshaw. You can honestly buy them in any order depending on what you need more. Rabadon is good if you don't die easily and need more damage or just wanna be funny. Easy! I totally meant it when I said I'm not gonna throw the game. Lord's Dominic if they have a lot of high HP tanks, and Jackshaw if you're already ahead and really need more tankiness. And yes, if you want, you can go Terminus instead of Lord's Dominic, but Lord's Dominic is much better if you need the instant armor pen. And honestly, I believe it's just objectively better option, especially after reverting the passive. Now crit and AP are the two main builds right now, but I wanna briefly mention a few options to get things straight. First, Dusk and Dawn. It might seem like a good idea, but Shin was never a good option on Kalista. On top of it, it's actually bugged with her E, so you don't even get any additional value apart from sheen damage itself. Next one is Hextech Gunblade. Normally I would say Omnivamp on Kalista is shit because her E is considered AoE, so you would be getting only 33% value. Now someone on my stream, yes, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 PM CET, they mentioned about some hidden right changes about certain abilities. Now I couldn't really find anything, but from my tests it does seem like Kalista E heals way more than it did before. But here's the problem. There are just better items that give Kalista way more value, and the active from Gunblade is unnecessary on her. On top of it, the meta, meaning teamfights and damage in general, are just too fast for it to be good. Nonetheless, if you wanna have some funny healing, I approve. And for the last item misconception, lethality. So, I've been saying it for ages and I'll keep on repeating myself. Lethality Kalista is useless. Now, say it with me. Lethality Kalista is useless. Because why would you bother relying on mediocre one-shot from Noodle hitbox Q and decent damage from E, when you can instead rely on really good damage from auto attacks at high attack speed that will also increase E damage just because there are more spears. It's literally better mathematically. Okay, so now you know all there is about items, so let's get to the more fun part. Runes. For the main runes, it stays basically the same. Lethal Tempo is your core rune, but honestly, I think you can very much swap it for PTA if you want to. Especially if you have support like Yuzuu that gives you attack speed just for existing. And yes, it also comes with support that will most likely buy the silly new item. I guess that means you can pick it almost whenever the fuck you want? Whatever. For the rest of the runes, you wanna go Triumph, then Alacrity or Bloodline. Before, Alacrity was the default, but now that you don't buy Bork, I really suggest Lifesteal. It will carry you through the entire early and mid game until you buy Bloodthirster. Then you wanna go Cut Down. And I know, I see you typing that fucking comment about Kudogura and how it's better. Well, let me tell you one thing. You're more delusional about this rune than I am about some of my picks. And that takes a lot of delusion, trust me. So by default, people think that since you wanna kill enemies with your E, that means more damage on it when the enemy is dying is much better. Well, it would be the case if it wasn't for how Cut Down works compared to it. Let me explain. So for Kudogura, when enemy is below 40% HP, you deal more damage. For Cut Down, when they are above 60%, you deal more damage. So in theory, it's the exact same thing. But first of all, if enemy is below 40% HP, they are most likely slightly less than 40% HP. So you get less value because there is less HP to impact. On top of it, if you use your E with Kudogura, it will overkill them, meaning even more damage is lost. Meanwhile with Cut Down, first, if enemy is full HP and you're in a 1v1, you get maximum value from the rune. Second, you get enemies to that execute point faster, which is what matters the most. And third, if you use your E while they are still above 60% HP, the bonus damage will be applied to everything. So you basically get value from the bonus damage even if your E deals damage from 60% HP to anything below it. Crazy concept, I know. And now that we both know you're wrong and I am right, let's talk about secondary runes, because there is fuck ton to choose from. So I'll talk about it quickly. Just as a note, secondary runes are low-key preference. First one, Domination. You wanna go either Taste of Blood or Sudden Impact into Ultimate Hunter. Taste of Blood is good into poke and Sudden Impact is good as poke. So if you're gonna struggle with HP, go Taste of Blood. And if you wanna poke enemies down or the support is tank, go Sudden Impact. For the Ultimate Hunter, there is no other option because Treasure Hunter is absolutely dogshit. You wanna go Domination mainly for the Ultimate Hunter and low ult cooldown. These runes allow you to play aggressive a lot more, so if you need to spam kill enemies and your only option to fight is ult, then it's perfect. Next one, Sorcery. In this case, you wanna go Mana Flow into Gathering Storm and nothing else. Yes, I did try Scorch, but it's pointless. If you want additional damage, Sudden Impact is a better option. Sorcery is very good if you wanna spam your E on lane and want to match enemy scaling. It's basically the best rune page for the AP build, since you get a lot more AP than AD from the Gathering Storm. This allows you to actually deal with bullshit you normally wouldn't be able to do so as an on-hit Kalista. Well, at least makes it a tiny bit easier. Third option, Resolve. Conditioning plus Overgrowth is a go-to combo if you wanna be more tanky in late game. It makes the laning phase a bit harder since you have no runes, but the same could be said about Sorcery. It's good if you're really gonna struggle with surviving later in the game, so it's mostly good against silly assassin champions. I love Rengar. If on the other hand you are a walking skill issue and enemy has a lot of high range poke, you can also take second wind. Bone plating is also good against burst champions, so stuff like Lucian, Kai'Sa, Pantheon, or even Nautilus. For the unflinching, it's very strong against a lot of CC and slows. Yes, it works on slows. Now for the last option, Inspiration. Cashback is the one you care about the most. With additional item slot, more gold and a faster snowball, it's a very good rune since it can give you around 1.5k gold by the end. It's also very good rune page for the AP build since AP items are quite expensive while giving you a lot of value. Apart from cashback, you can take cookies if you have negative level of confidence against poke matchups, Cosmic Insight if you want faster Zonia and Psalms, or Approach Velocity. Honestly, Approach Velocity on Kalista is quite underrated. Inspiration is best if you wanna push your snowball as much as possible and want to end the game before 25 minutes. Anything past that and Resolve and Sorcery would be just better. For the shards, it's simple. You go attack speed plus double scaling HP, or if enemy has shit tons of slows and CC, you go this silly little thing instead. That's all, thanks, bye!